Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Robert Laird, and I'm here in a very wet Garden Grove, California today as the wind blows and the rain comes down. And we are excited to join with you for business success training, and we do this every Saturday morning. And before we get started, I think I'll share a little bit about what Reliv's done in our lives. And normally I would be joined by Lauren right now, but she was working a night shift, so she got home at way after I went to bed last night. So I think she's still asleep. She might hop on from the other room. We'll see. But Reliv came into our lives about a decade ago now, which blows my mind, but really came through my parents. And my mom had a massive stroke. My dad had hip and back pain all of his life. And they started taking the products, and they got some pretty phenomenal results. And when I saw the results that they were getting, I saw a way that I could help people and get paid for it. And really, I wasn't looking to get paid a lot, but I figured if I could make an extra like $50 a month, that would be a pretty fantastic thing. So I really jumped into Reliv for the business of it, and came in at the top profit level. And lo and behold, in the first day in the business, I was talking to people at Disneyland about what was going on with my parents, and they wanted products. And what ended up happening is I made $50 profit that first day in the business. And we've continued to make money every month since then. Of course, our scope has grown a little bit beyond the $50 a month, but we've been paid every month since then, and we've made as much as $4,000 in a calendar month. We've earned a couple of trips and bonuses, and all along the way, we've gotten to help a bunch of kids through the Reliv Cologris Foundation. The really fun added benefit, I guess you could say, to it all has been the health results that we've gotten. When we started Reliv, we were both feeling like we were very healthy, and we're like, oh, this is great, but it's just a prevention thing. It'll save us later in life. And what we discovered is as we took these products consistently, I got better energy. I was sleeping better. But as the months went by, it was about 8 months in, I realized that spring had come, the flowers had come, and my allergies hadn't. And that's been such a wonderful blessing. And then the other thing that really, especially on days like today, that blows my mind is rainy days used to be a not fun day for me because I had an old soccer injury where I got kicked in the back of the knee, popped my kneecap out, and kept playing on it because I thought I was cool. And so when it was rainy or strong air conditioning, that would hurt my knee. And now I'm sitting here in my office enjoying the rain with my window partially open, and I'll probably go out and run in it and play later today. So we absolutely love what Reliv has done for us from a product standpoint, from a business standpoint, and we love that as we build this business, we get to help the kids of the world with the Reliv Cologris Foundation. So that's just a little bit of what Reliv is doing for people. It's a fantastic product and a fantastic business, and in Reliv Success Training, we get to share how to share this with more people. But before we do that, I'd love to hear from a few people what their week's successes were. What are you excited about? And I don't have anybody muted, so you can just hop on and share.
Hey, Robert, it's Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, I've always said the goal is to get people results, and we just had a customer come back that my daughter played basketball with, her daughter or their daughter, and a few years ago they were on the product, got great results, and then they, it's like some people feel, well, we're feeling healthy, we don't need this anymore, and
right.
And she started playing basketball in college, and now she really remembered how good she felt when she was on the product. So she talked to her dad, and yesterday anyway, the long story short, they got back on the product mainly for the daughter, but now the parents are seeing how excited the daughter is and how well she's doing, that now the family's getting on the product. So it's a lot of fun to see that, when people realize the value of the product in their life, even if they fall off, they usually come back. So
yeah,
it's quite fun.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Who else got something they're excited about this week?
I do, Robert. Can you hear me still?
I can hear you. It's still working.
Oh, yay. I am so happy. I hope
Me
it continues. This is Luann, but, I had a great week. And you know what I have found is the more I plan my week, the more success I have. And I'm loving that. But I did get a call from one of my distributors, and she's not been really consistent on the Fit 3, but she wanted weight loss. And so when she was coming, she said, can I come and meet with you? And I said, yes. And so I didn't know what that was going to bring. And you know how you think maybe it's not going to be a good thing, kind of go there. I thought, nope, not going to go there. And so I kept thinking this is going to be a good thing. And so when she came in, she said, I want you to be my mentor. And I said, yes, I can be your mentor. How can I help you? And so, you know, she took notes and she's going to be more consistent. And, you know, I know exactly where she's going to go. We set up a time to meet weekly so that, you know, she can keep on a good track. And so it was really good. But that's what I find when I plan and I have things all planned out and written down. And my weeks, it's like even if I don't call, they call me. So it's just been really fun.
I am a huge believer in the power of the calendar. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing, Luann. Anybody else got something? How about one more?
This is Brenda. I actually have something this week.
Great.
So, I'm finally feeling better, and Steve and I went to this, I don't even know what it was, a kind of a little presentation thing on Monday, and I was able to share with 3 people there, and 2 of them were very excited and sound like they're going to get on the product, and I went back on Fit 3 this last week, and because I kind of I just couldn't deal with anything in January other than just trying to feel better, and I've lost 2.5 pounds this week, so
nice.
I'm pretty excited.
That's awesome. Congratulations. 1 week, you said?
Yep.
Well done. Keep it up. That's exciting.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Well, that's fun, and that's what I love about Fit 3. I don't know if any of you are friends with Roger Rodriguez, but I saw he's over in Florida. I knew he was over in Florida this week, but it's been fun watching his pictures with Mickey Mouse and all these other people, and recognizing the difference between this trip and his last trip at those same sort of pictures, and just seeing how much weight he's been pulling off. And I know he had a goal of losing, I think it was 8 pounds or something before this trip. And I'm pretty sure he made it, but I'll have to check with him when he gets back. But great job, everybody. That's fun. And that's really what keeps Relive exciting and vibrant, is as we help new people and as we help people get new results, it just keeps adding into that. It's like adding fuel to our fire. And that's what gets us going in the morning. So good job. And let's move right on into training, if it'll let me. There we go. This morning, I thought I would talk a little bit about finding your motivation. And Luann's comment there was perfect. But one of the things we've been working on locally down here in California is consistent action every day. And part of that is making sure that you're motivated to take action every day. And so I've kind of been doing this study, I guess you could say, over the last month into what causes people to act and what makes people successful versus not, and even more so than I normally do. And a couple of weeks ago, I was talking a lot about habits, and then I was realizing you have to have the motivation to get into the habits, and that's really where this came in from. But motivation is defined as a strong reason to act in a certain way, which I think most people would agree with that definition. But what we don't always think about is motivation impacts every aspect of your efforts at change. If you have motivation or if you don't, or what level of motivation, really determines what's going to happen for you as you're working towards change. And so be keeping that in mind of what you'd like to change and where you'd like to go as we go through these next few slides. So first thing we need to ask the question is, how do we motivate ourselves? Obviously, it starts off by making a choice. You have to choose where you want to go and what you want to do as you're going there. And then you also, as you're making that choice, need to recognize that everything has a cost. And maybe that means not as much time on TV. Maybe that means having to get up a little bit earlier in the morning. Maybe it means having to be more disciplined about working with a calendar. But everything's going to have a cost one way or another. And recognize that if you don't make a choice, there's a cost to that as well. Then it really comes down to, is the cost for success greater than or worth more to you than the cost for failure? because recognize that whatever path you take, there is a cost to that path. So I've got 3 successful motivation tips for you this morning, trying to keep it simple since it's early for those of us on the West Coast. And the first one is get positive. This one's kind of common sense, but it's something that we need to remind ourselves every day. I went in and did some research, and there's actually scientific documentation that people tend to procrastinate more when they're in a bad mood. And you start thinking about this and you're like, yeah, when I'm in a bad mood, I really don't do as much. I feel a little bit more sluggish. I don't move as fast because of that. And I tend to kind of just sit there and glare at the world or whatever it is, as opposed to when I'm not in a bad mood, I kind of have that spring in my step and I want to go do things. So with that, make a choice to be optimistic. Choose to look for the good things. Choose to look for what's bright in your day, what you have to look forward to, what outcomes you're looking for. And then with that, use the progress principle. I don't know if people have heard of this before, but I thought it was pretty cool. And it really is something that we've kind of talked about before but never defined. And that celebrate small wins to ignite joy, engagement, and creativity while working. And I think we talk a lot about celebrating our small wins, but really just to build ourselves up. But I didn't think about the different side benefits that comes out of celebrating small wins. And there's a whole thing that you can read on this. But beyond just igniting that joy, it's also igniting your engagement and your creativity, which that's the one that jumps out to me even more, is as you think about celebrating these small wins, think about the creative ways or the ways we need to be creative with Relive. Maybe it's with coming up with a new special event as we're building towards Hawaii and we want to do a different type of the Hawaiian luau or something, as they did, I think it was, I'm trying to remember where it was, in Utah or something. And maybe it's coming up with a different way to build your list. I mean, I think of how many times when I'm meeting with our organization, a lot of the time we spend is building lists and coming up with different areas of life that we know people. But really, it's using that principle of celebrating the small wins. You have the small one this morning of being on a call at 8:12 in the morning and investing in your Relive business. You have the small win of putting this in your calendar maybe, or setting an appointment. We're doing a 2 more call challenge right now in our group where we're challenging each other to make 2 more calls than we normally would make. And it's really coming down to getting that in our calendar and following through with it. And then we have a small Facebook group that we all keep each other accountable and chat with. And so we are egging each other on and building each other up and celebrating those 2 extra calls a day. And it's been a very fun thing to watch people grab hold of and be excited about. I see in the chat, got some good stuff going on. I learned endorphins open the creative areas of your mind. Go exercise, absolutely. And then celebrate the success of exercising. And then I love the progress principle, April said, as a way to help ignite joy, engagement, and creativity. I do too. And I think so often we focus on the joy and engagement and forget the creativity. So always remember to be creative too, because you just don't know different ways that we're going to connect with people as we're going about our daily lives. Oops, it wants me to go down here. Okay, second way, reward yourself, get rewarded. Rewards are responsible for 75% of why we do things. And this number really popped out at me and I had to think about it for a little bit. And, you know, that's something that kind of makes sense as you think about it, as different people react to different rewards. And some of them are monetary and some of them are other ways. But there's this came from 100 Simple Secrets of Successful People. And so one of the suggestions they had was treat yourself for completing something on your list, whether that's, you know, getting to go do something fun or monetarily or whatever it is, but really reward yourself for writing something down on your list and being able to cross it off as well. And then another suggestion they had was give a friend an amount of money at the beginning of the day and then have them give it back to you once you've finished your task at the end of the day. And then if you don't finish the task, they get to keep it basically as an accountability cost. And they were suggesting $100 and I kind of went, whoa, but whatever it's worth to you, maybe that's the number that is right to get through 5 no's in a day, or whatever it is. And the point being is, when you've done a good job, you should get rewarded for it. And that really will boost momentum and also help continue the motivation factor as we're moving forward. 3, get peer pressure, and I don't mean the bad kind, I mean the good kind. You want to surround yourself with positive people who want to do what you want to do. You want to surround yourself with the people that have similar goals in the direction, and their motivations are the same as you. Like in Relive, I think we've got a very fantastic group of people that all want to really help people and really change the world in a positive way, both through health, finances, and then those that can't help themselves. And so as you surround yourselves with those positive people, that's just going to reinforce what you're trying to do as well. There's the longevity project, and that says that the groups of people you associate yourself with determine the person that you become. As we were kids, we always got told that to be careful the friends that we had, because those are what we were going to turn into. I remember my mom saying that as a kid. And then there's friendfluence, which was another principle I found somewhere. And basically that is that you develop the eating habits, health habits, and even career aspirations of those around you. And so that really, you recognize the people that you surround yourself and the people you invest yourself in are really going to help you determine the future that you're going to live, in the future that you're going to follow. And I think that's what's such a great thing about calls like these and people and groups like this, is we do have that similar goal to nourish our world, and that's a fantastic thing. But really connect with each other and build each other up in that positive way as we're moving forward. So those are your 3 motivational principles to hopefully help you get motivated on a daily basis. But always remember that the first step is to believe that you can do anything because you can. You have to believe that you can get where you want to go to be able to get there. If you don't think you can do something, it's going to be so much harder to get motivated and get even past that first step of getting off of the procrastination game. So with that, we're going to turn into how do you take this motivation and share it with the world? And that really comes into how do you succeed with Relive? And it's all about helping new people get new results. It's fueling your business with new people. And there's a whole system that Relive has put in place that's absolutely fantastic, that helps us succeed as we're moving through our daily lives and building this business. And really the key with this is to take action now. It's doing something every day. Maybe it's not even a big thing, but it's doing something every day that are going to help you as you roll down the road of success. So these are our daily fundamentals, and we'll go through each of these so that you're set up for success. And it all starts with identifying. You want to always have a list. You want to have that, whether it's a spreadsheet or whether it's a paper list, whatever it is, but a list of people that don't know about Relive. Think of 10 people that don't know about the products, 10 people that don't know about the business that you would like to share with. And then right next to their name, write why you thought of each person, because this provides purpose for the first contact and follow-up. But I think it also provides a level of connection and a level of care as you're building this list, that as you eventually go and talk to these people, they know you really thought about them, and they know you really are looking out for their best interest, because you thought enough to be like, I know that this would benefit you, and this is the reason I thought it might. And you might not have the exact right reason, but the thought that you cared about them enough to go that extra mile, I think really does make a huge difference. And then it's the next question you have to ask is, who are the 5 that you're going to contact first? Who are going to be the ones that you contact today? And really, there's always new people to talk to, whether it's friends, families, work, church, social media, school. I've been talking with people around here, classes like they have at the local community centers or YMCA or whatever, are a great place to meet people. But there's always new ways to add to the list every day. Next thing that we do is connect. And really, this is where I think this is where it gets exciting. Go through those 20 prospects that you just wrote down on the list with your upline, or maybe it's your Relive mentor, and really ask who's first, and really act on the who's first right then as well. But kind of create an action plan. For some people, it's facing that scariest person first. and recognizing once I've gotten past that, I'm good to go with anybody else. Other people want to kind of ease into it, and it's really just helping them take that baby step forward and start moving the momentum of their success wheel and building this business. What do you say? You share your excitement and why you thought of them. It's exactly what we were talking about on the last slide, is as you've thought of why you thought of them and why you wanted to share Relive with them, share it with them. It's really being upfront and honest with them and as straightforward as you can be. And that's going to show people that you care. If you were just to say, you know, Roger, I was thinking of you about this. I know that this season's been a little bit rough for you, and you could use some extra cash. And this was a way that helped me get extra cash. And I really think that you should take a look at this. Might not be for you, but you might like it as well. Would you want to hear about this? And I've discovered, as I've said less and been very straightforward, that tends to lead to the best reactions with people as we've been sharing Relive with people. We've got the company tools that you can validate with, and the real goal here is to set an appointment. Maybe that's meeting up with them for a one-on-one, maybe it's going to Starbucks, maybe it's a Tuesday night presentation or a webinar, but it's really to get that next step. And everything really is about helping them go where they want to go next or where they need to go next. There's a few opening sentences here. You can use any of them if you like, but the one that I tend to find is the most successful is really just asking a person how they are and investing in their lives, finding out what's going on in their lives, what their highs, what their lows are, and really then just connecting with that. And then at the next level, connecting them with stories and tools as I bring up Relive with them. Next, share the Relive story. This one's a lot of fun. You get to share your story. You get to share why you're excited about Relive, why you do Relive, what your belief is with this, what your heart is with this, what connects with you in Relive and really excites you about it. And then as we're sharing beyond our story into the bigger picture of the whole Relive story, we want to share all of that as well. We want to share the business. We want to share the products. And we also want to share the Relive Clogers Foundation. And there's lots of different tools that you can use for this, whether it's the opportunity book, the slides, the videos. I actually always think that the opportunity book has something very unique and tangible that adds strength to it when you share in a one-on-one presentation. As much as I'm the tech guy that loves my iPad, I do recognize, and I kind of wish we always had the opportunity book. We only have it sometimes, because you can write on it and you can add to the I don't know, it adds to the realness in a weird way as you use that. And then they get to take it home and remember it. There's also online, you can use relive.com/get-started, which is just a fantastic resource. And then there's webinars as well. Probably almost most importantly is introduce your upline and other Relive stories to the new person as you're sharing the Relive story. The big Relive corporate story is a fantastic thing, but it really comes alive when you start hearing what Relive's doing for Luann or April or Brenda or Roger or whoever it is that happens to be on the calls with you as you're sharing the Relive story. There's different ways that people can engage and connect with Relive as you're sharing the Relive story. And we do the meetings every Tuesday night, obviously. We're working on some in-home parties that we're going to try to start doing once a month. There's obviously the webinars, conference calls, upline, other distributors, which are fantastic, the Lifestyle magazine, which is also fantastic, the Relive blog, and then the video tools. They continue to work to create more videos that are quick and useful for us as Relive distributors. And the thing that I love about Relive is you don't have to know it all. You just have to be honest about what you know and what you don't know, and then use the system to build in and educate all the rest of it and to validate it as well. That's why we have a system. That's why we have all these tools. And that's why it's so fun to get to work together with other Relive distributors, because then it's not all on you. It's all on the entire system, and it spreads that load as we're introducing people to Relive. Next is ask for a decision. This can be an exciting time too, because this is where you get to choose where people go next. You get to ask them what would be best for you, where would you like to go next, and then be ready to answer whatever their decision is. So be prepared to do business. Have your products and tools with you at all times. It's great with the new Relive app because you can really have almost everything with you right there. But also have your products also. You know, we often have a set of relive of the basics in our car whenever we do presentations, and just being ready to go for whatever that person decides they want to do. Have a recommended order ready for each option. Know what, when the inevitable question comes of what do you think I should start with, know what your answer is going to be. And then always be ready to help them register as well. And we just do that with our phones now. In fact, Lauren did a presentation yesterday that was kind of an informal thing, and she did the whole thing on her iPhone 8 Plus. And I was like, you want to take the iPad? And she's like, no, I'm just going to take my phone. And we really are at that level now where everything has gotten so, I almost want to say simple and easy, that you can run literally this business from your phone. And that's mostly what we do now. Really, it's asking for that decision of asking where they want to get started. If they want to get started with the products, ask questions and listen. Recommend maybe a super PAC, and that's a fantastic place to get started and get people results. And if they need, personalize the needs, or respond to the personalized needs. Maybe they need something specific, and 24K is a fantastic option for that. We have a longtime customer that's been texting us all week about the new 24K and how much he loves it, and different things he's been trying it with, and he's got some ADD stuff going on. So this has been a huge answer to prayer for him, and he loved the old stuff, and he's now loving the new stuff as well. You want to keep it simple and you don't want to overwhelm. That's why it's great to just start people off with a super PAC. Is it's not that complicated, and anybody can do it without thinking too much and getting overwhelmed by it. And then you can always be offering to look at ways to save with the products, so that people can really make sure that they understand that there's the opportunity to buy in bulk and save a little extra cash. And then also, as you're offering to help them save products, be asking, who do you know that can benefit from these related products? Because as you save for these products, you could actually be making from these products as well. And a lot of people like the idea of being able to put a little extra cash in their pocket. For distributors, asking for decision, same thing. It's asking, where do they like to get started? What would be best for them? And then as they build their Relive business, get them started right away, do that application process. You can do that easily online. And then go back through the comp plan and make sure they understand how it works. Often when we're going through it on a Tuesday night in a bigger scenario or setting for a presentation, you kind of zip through it pretty fast. And it's a good thing to go through and write it out and make sure they explain the benefits of the different levels of our comp plan. And then you can ask questions and listen. That's really one of our most important things that we do all the time, is listening and asking questions. The more that we can understand where a person's coming from and where they want to go, the more we can help them get there. If we have our own preconceived notions of where they are and where they want to go, odds are is we're going to miss the mark and just not going to be as effective as Relive distributors as we could be. And then obviously we're going to get them started on the products as well. And we can bring up the super PAC or whatever is best then as well. And then it's constantly coming back to what I mentioned in the last slide of who do you know that might want to start a Relive business. It's really always kind of planting that seed in of who do you know that might connect with this, or who do you know that would be excited by that, or who do you know that would like to help other people. And quite often as you're going through this, if it's kind of just something that's coming up, people are going to throw names at you fairly quickly. They're going to think of people that, oh, my cousin would be great for this, or, oh, my dad really needs that. And that happens very naturally as we're going through this process. Then we get to register and go. This is where it gets really fun as well. All of it's fun. But this is where you've got them signed up, and it's really the rubber hitting the road, and you're helping them succeed, whether it's through health or whether it's through business. And with the products, you want to help them get into a consistent habit of success of when they're going to take their products, whether it's in the morning, in the afternoon, or whatever that schedule is going to be. But then it's really helping them by connecting them with more stories and helping them see the vision of where they're going and catch that excitement of losing a couple pounds in a week, or maybe it's not having your brain going all over the place because 24K has brought it back into focus. I love that story, and I love that when I'm with him in particular, when he hasn't taken his 24K. Everybody in the room knows it, and it's really fun to see the products work that well in people's lives. So then it's really a matter of keeping it simple. Maybe on the first day, you want to connect them with somebody and see how their first shake went. And as you do that and you ask how their first shake went, you can connect them with one of your friends in Relive and let them hear what Relive did with them as they've taken their shakes. Day 3, maybe you want to ask if they're being consistent. Same thing, connect them with somebody in Relive so that they can start building that excitement that you have about what Relive products are doing for you and for others. Day 10, what results are you seeing so far? Maybe they're already seeing results before day 10. But as you continue to connect with them and build that relationship between you and your new person, and then also other people in Relive and that new person, they're going to be excited to share their new story just as they've been hearing these other people's story. And then as we've mentioned over and over this morning, through the whole thing, it's connecting or constantly asking that question of who do you know that could benefit from these products or this business opportunity. It's really continuing to plant that seed, because as you do that, you're helping them plant a field that they didn't even know they had that's really could lead to something that could change their lives forever and build a business and a future and a legacy that maybe they weren't even thinking about because they just didn't see that big enough picture yet for Relive as they got started. Recognize that the schedule, it's only a guideline, really comes down to using common sense. Some people are going to want to hear more from you and other people are going to want to hear less. And it's really connecting with people at the speed that they need to go and following up with them in a way that is effective and helps them get the results that they want to get. And so a lot of that is coming from knowing what they want and knowing where they want to go so that you can accommodate that. Same with distributors, set them up for success. What we do is we help them build a business, and the best way to help them build a business is by taking action right away. That's getting them into the process of identifying, connecting, sharing the story, going through exactly what we went through this morning or what we are going through this morning, but starting right away. It's not procrastinating, but instead getting them results and getting them a paycheck right away. I think one of the reasons that we got excited about Relive initially was when you go to Disneyland and you share about your dad's result and you walk away with $50 profit that you didn't even imagine you could get, that gets you excited about the business. And that was something that, sometimes I remember we had a month where I think our check was like, I don't remember what it was. I'm thinking of our overrides check. Our first override check was $26.37 or something like that. And it wasn't a huge check, but I saw the potential in that first day by walking away with $50 profit that just continues to excite us years later. And as we've seen bigger checks and bigger experiences come out of Relive. But as you start taking action immediately, it sets that track for success. I see in the chat, Brenda's asking, do you still use a medical info sheet on each person? We don't do the absolute medical info sheet. We actually take notes on our phones most of the time. So not exactly, but we do definitely try to take good records on people and make sure that we're getting them the results that they want. But yeah, that's a good question. So then as you're moving people into the business, review the basics of running a Relive business. Set them up for success and help them know how to order, how to register people, how to navigate the new relive.com. Go through it and spend some time just exploring and connecting with them for different resources so that as they get started, maybe you're not answering your phone right away because you're in another meeting or something, they can still have a place that they can go and they can connect and get some answers. You also want to make sure that they've seen the distributor kit and understand what comes with that. Always show off the relive.com/get started because there's great results or great things there that can help you get results. And then also the upline distributor service, and I would also say all of our sidelines as well. But show them where they can connect because the more connections that you help a new person get, the easier it is going to be for them to get their questions answered when they have them, whether that's about the business, about the products, or something else completely. But if you're giving them those resources so that they can get answers, then maybe they're not only relying on you. I remember when we went on our first trip to Europe and we got engaged, and we had just sponsored 2 master affiliates. And literally, I think it was a day or 2 later, we're flying to France and are basically disconnected. And I remember coming back 10 days later and kind of wondering, I wonder how that turned out. And the fantastic thing is we connected them with our upline, we'd connect them with the sidelines, and over the course of those 10 days, our upline had actually been continuing to be in contact with them, and they started building a business and building checks while we were gone. In fact, they'd already signed up people both in the business and in products as we were in France that we had no clue about because we were disconnected. And it blew my mind that we could be away and disconnected and our business would grow anyway. And that was a really fun thing. So then as you're starting them off, the last thing you want to do is review the Relive system. Go through all of this with them. Make sure they know when special events are coming up in the area, when any meetings that you're doing are in the area are, so that they can invite people as well. And they know the resources that Relive has put in place or we've put locally in place to help them succeed. And then obviously make sure they know about Concord in Chicago. There's a bunch of Relive tools. I don't think there's a shortage of them now. And tools are meant to be used. So take a look at them, whether it's through stuff on the internet or brochures or lifestyle magazines, or going to the website relive.com/getstarted. Tom and the gang has done a fantastic job of giving us tools so that we can always have what we need to share Relive. And I think it's a fantastic thing, and they continue to get more and more exciting as they add more and more resources for us. Recognize the entire Relive system is built around taking action with new people all the time, whether it's through the podcasts and product calls and all the support tools and the Get Started page on the corporate side of things, or through our daily activity of presentation, in-homes, meetings, uplines, 3-way calls, trainings, and webinars like we're on right now. Recognize there's always somewhere to feed new people into. And then we've got special events coming up. In fact, we just yesterday nailed down, we're going to have Tom Pinnock out here again in March, I believe on the 8th and the 9th. That should be a Friday and a Saturday if my brain is working properly, because I haven't taken my 24K yet this morning, Roger. But it is delicious and it's fantastic. And I have a feeling it's going to do really well for us. But we've got that special event happening in March, and then we've got April, we've got the Concord Relive Live, and also another one in July. So be thinking ahead as these special events and conferences or Relive Lives come about how we can build to them and how we can take action today that's going to build to the events in March and April and in July. And the important part of that being is you want to start bringing more people to the coming event than you had at the last one. And we're always trying to think of who can we bring to Relive Live this time that maybe hasn't been before. And so we're really building to that now. And I encourage you to as well. And yes, the taste is absolutely fantastic for that new 24K. Okay, then you want to engage your team. You want to really, a team is something where everybody gets to contribute and everybody gets to be a part of. And remember that as you go through your weekly business, and especially if you have local meetings or whatever, you really want to build these people up for success and build them up to be a part of the team so that maybe they're not just sitting on the sidelines wishing that they were being used for something, because people like to help out and they like to be a part of things. And I know locally we have different jobs for different people in our group as we're doing our Tuesday nights and our special events. And some people like to take care of the hospitality and the things, and some people like to do setup, and some people like to bring drinks or whatever it is. And then we have a couple of people that really like to come up with new Relive recipes for the shakes and bring the berries and all that other stuff. And so it creates a sense of camaraderie and purpose as they're coming on Tuesday nights. And it just adds, I think, to the positive energy that we have on our Tuesday nights. But as you're engaging your team, you want to develop a library of stories. You want to have those connections with your upline, downline, other distributors, and really recognize the strength tools and the entire Relive system as you're going about your business. And just recognizing that if you want to build ambassadors, you build relationships. Network marketing is called network marketing for a reason, and that's because we build a network, not only just with our new people, but also the people that are in our business. And the analogy I like to use down here pretty frequently is every relationship that you build in Relive is one more string in that net. And if you're building a hammock out of strings, I guess, you want to have a hammock that has lots of strings in your net so that it holds you and it's firm and it's supporting you in a way that you feel comfortable in it. And so really that's what we want to be doing in Relive as well, is building that network of relationships, because that's the way that we really are going to make a huge difference and reach that ambassador level. You want to stay engaged to what's going on in Relive. They've got lots of different ways that you can connect, and there's the emails, calls, webinars, blogs, social media, and texts. But they're only as good as opening them, listening to them, and acting on them. So make sure that you're connecting to all of these different things that Relive is offering, and basically feeding your Relive business as you're moving forward. And then also set goals. Review the road to presidential. Maybe review the road to Hawaii. Know where you're at in terms of how many points you have now, how many points you need by the I think end of July. And then what is your action path to get there? How many points are you going to get per week? How are you going to do that? What actions are you going to take to get there? And then as you're doing that, do it with your organization as well. Stretch their thinking. Help them see where they could be going. In this case, Hawaii was what I was just talking about. But help them see the potential that maybe they don't see. So much of what we do in Relive is helping people dream bigger than they normally do, because we've just forgotten how to dream, because we've gotten stuck in the minutia of everyday life. We get stuck in the 9 to 5 or whatever is going on at work, and we've forgotten that there could be something more, and that Relive can offer that. And then as you're thinking about your organization as well, what will it take to make key director in however many months if you're not there yet, or who's going to be that next key director in your organization? But really, it's looking always at that next step. What's that next step? Where do I want to go? How far am I going to go? And what will it take to get there? And then what am I going to do to motivate myself to make sure that we get there as well? And as you do that, that's really what gets this business more and more exciting, because as you are thinking bigger and dreaming bigger and moving quicker and more consistently, it's just like Luann said at the beginning of the call, people just start showing up. New people come out of the woodwork when you're really being active with this business. I don't know if it's something psychological or whatever it is, but it seems to me every time when people are consistent with the business, people consistently show up, and that's something that's really fun. And so then as you're taking action every day and you're motivating yourself and you're setting goals and you're working through the Relive system, then you're going to introduce other people to do this, obviously. And the goal with that is that it'll duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. Your hope is that people will take the actions that you're taking because they see the actions that you're taking, and they're going to catch that excitement. So much of what we do in Relive, yes, we're teaching skills, but really we're helping people catch the excitement that we caught when we were first introduced to Relive. And maybe for some of us, that means going back and thinking about what excited me in the first place with Relive and recatching that fire and that excitement. But what I can tell you is this, is we're super excited about Relive. We're super excited about this payment plan that's coming in March, because that's just going to be an incredible thing. And this is a fantastic time to really be working in Relive. I would encourage everybody on this call this morning to be working for Hawaii. I look forward to seeing all of you in April at Concord for Relive Live, and we're just going to take this business and this opportunity to a whole new level and share with a whole new group of people and change the world. So as we do that, be thinking about who's next every day. And I'm just going to wish you a fantastic Saturday, and let's make it a fantastic Relive week.
Thanks, Robert.